This podcast episode is sponsored by Toro de Lidia Tequila, a 100% blue agave tequila that's available at all Specs locations in Texas. Visit tequilatorodelidya.com for details.
What's going on, everybody? This is Neo, and you are checking out the JMG Live Music Lounge. Keep it locked right here, y'all. Peace and love.
What's up? This is Afrojack, and you're listening to the JMG Live Music Lounge.
Hi there, I'm Sonny James.
I'm Ram Shano.
And you're listening to JMG Live Music Lounge.
You already know what it is. It's Jacquari, and you're listening to JMG Live Music Lounge.
Hey, this is Dyro, and you're listening to the JMG Live Music Lounge.
What's up, Stefflon?
Hey, this is CC Citizen. You're listening to JMG Live Music Lounge.
Hey, everybody, this is Justin Smollett. It's your boy, DJ Chuck.
Hey, this is Mary Lambert, and you're listening to the JMG Live Music Lounge.
JMG Live Music Lounge.
Jacquari, nice to meet you.
JMG Live Music Lounge with Jacquari Harris. Hear it first with your favorite music artists and celebs. Interviews and entertainment.
What's up? This is Jennifer Lopez. You're listening to JMG Live Music Lounge.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to the 20th episode of the JMG Live Music Lounge. I'm your host, Jacquari Harris, as well as the music editor for JMG Magazine. You know, we're continuing with our Artist of the Month summer series with the Grammy Award-winning singer, songwriter, dancer, judge, and just a cool dude, Ne-Yo. You know, Ne-Yo just released his album Good Man last month, and we talked about his new music, being a judge on World of Dance, and the current state of R&B music. Also, a little bit later in the show, we have a music moment with the legendary Boy George. But first, I think we're going to kick off the show with another headliner, Drake.
JMG Live Music Lounge.
So my music headliner this week is Drake. You know, he's everywhere. And when I say everywhere, I mean everywhere. The hip-hop superstar's 8th studio album, Scorpion, is breaking records left and right. You know, Nice for What is a Louisiana-inspired bounce track from Scorpion that features Big Freedia and has made history by hitting the #1 spot on Billboard's Hot 100 chart 4 times. You know, Scorpion is also the first album in this century to have 7 top 10 hits. And if that wasn't enough, Scorpion is the first album to be streamed over 1 billion times in a week. You know, Drake seems to be unstoppable right now. And if you haven't heard the album, I suggest you go take a listen, especially to another hot track called In My Feelings that has a buzz and a dance challenge that's happening right now on social media.
JMG Live Music Lounge.
So Ne-Yo is our latest artist of the month, and I wanted to feature him because he's accomplished so much over the past decade. You know, many of us were introduced to Ne-Yo when Mario released Let Me Love You in 2004, which was a song that was written by Ne-Yo. You know, Ne-Yo's reputation as a songwriter has been a big part of his brand. He's written for so many artists, including Beyonce, Mary J. Blige, Leona Lewis, and Rihanna, just to name a few. And in addition to writing for other people, he's had so much success as a multi-platinum selling artist himself with his albums In My Own Words and Because of You. Not to mention songs like Miss Independent and One in a Million that's still being played on radio today. Ne-Yo's also collaborated with artists from different genres such as pop, EDM, and dance music. You know, last month Ne-Yo released his 7th studio album called Good Man, and it's an R&B album that ranges from slow jams like the title track Good Man and Ocean Shore to more up-tempo songs like Pushback, which features Bebe, Rexha, and Stefflon Don. And I like it. It has a nice little Caribbean sound to it. You know, so when I spoke to Ne-Yo, I wanted to know more about the album, so I asked him if he had a set direction that he wanted to go in when creating the album, or if it all came together organically.
It kind of all came together organically. The only real direction that I had with this album is that I wanted it to have a primarily R&B feel. And I wanted the songs to feel warm. That was pretty much it. You know, I didn't really have a subject matter or anything like that. I just knew that I didn't want to go per se as pop as I had gone before. I wanted to do something that leaned a little closer to R&B.
Nice. And you've collaborated with quite a few artists on the album, Bebe Rexha, Party Next Door. How did you decide which artists you wanted to work with on the album?
Um, I wish that I could tell you that there was some, huge and elaborate way that I select people to be on the album. But to be honest with you, it was really just about, you know, uh, like-minded people. People that was down to do something that didn't so much follow trends, and just something good, man. Party Next Door, I reached out to him because I wanted to make sure that the message got out to the millennials as well, and I know that he speaks the language of the millennials. Same thing with Eric Bellinger. I reached out to BB Rex and Stefflon Don because when I finished that particular record, I'm talking about Pushback, it just felt like it needed a little something extra, and initially I couldn't put my finger on what that extra was, and then it just kind of clicked. It needed some girl power, you know what I'm saying? So I reached out to them, and that came together. Um, Sam Hook is a close friend of mine. He's an incredible writer. I've known him for a really long time. He has an amazing voice. I've been trying to get him to try to do the artist thing for a long time, but he don't want to do it. Sam Hook is featured on Ocean Shore, as well as Candace Boyd, who's another person that I've known for a really long time. Just amazing. I just needed amazing voices on that particular record, and them two fit the bill. So, yeah, I mean, it wasn't like anything that was extremely thought out or, I sat and lit candles and asked the cosmos who I should put on the album, nothing like that. It was just, it came together the way it did.
Yeah, that's what's up. And of course, nobody can say no to Neo, right?
You would think that was the case. There have definitely been people who, will not necessarily tell me no. What normally happens is schedules get in the way. It'll be somebody that I'm reaching out to for something, and for whatever reason, their schedule will have them going left, and my schedule will have me going right, and we'll just never get it going. But I feel like everything that's supposed to happen does, and everything that ain't doesn't. So.
Of course, that's the universe. So what's your favorite song on the album?
Oh man, it's really hard to choose. So one thing that the album does, is to anybody that's listened to it, if you notice, so the album literally goes from the caterpillar phase to the cocoon phase, through the struggle of getting out of the cocoon into the butterfly phase. So it's like the first maybe 2-3 songs are definitely that caterpillar phase where we still in the club, we still doing that thing. Then we meet somebody special, we get into that relationship. Then that's the cocoon. Then the struggle happens. We wind up doing something stupid. That's where you get songs like Over You and Without You and all of that, where it's a struggle. It's a struggle to do right. And then we finally get to that butterfly phase, and that's where you get Good Man and Apology and all of that type of stuff. So, yeah, it's really hard for me to pick a favorite, man. Like they all kind of mean something.
Yeah, I definitely liked all the songs that I've heard, especially Good Man. And I was checking out the video yesterday, and it seems like, it's a different concept for you, because there's a choir performing and everything. Who came up with the idea for the music video?
Well, I came up with the idea personally. I knew that I wanted this video to have kind of a not necessarily surreal element, but just the whole dream sequence. The consequence of the struggle to be a good man and the consequences, the potential consequences if you decide not to be a good man. That's what I wanted to really focus on with this particular video. So, you see in the video, the girl is going through my jeans and the number falls out and all of that. You see us arguing or whatever. And then you see me trying to write the letter to her to apologize. The choir, I just wanted certain specific things. When the harmonies come in on the song, it just felt like church to me. It felt like that. So that's what the choir is about. And then the part where she lifts up the gun, it's like, if when you're playing with people's hearts, it can get intense. It can get very, very intense. So you just got to be careful.
Definitely. And everything that you're saying comes through when you watch the video. So I think it's a dope video. Will there be a tour coming up soon?
We are. Excuse me, I just woke up. We are in the process of putting together the tour right now. I may potentially be shooting another TV show right around the time that we was gearing up for the tour. So we're trying to make both of them work. As much as you can for as long as you can.
Okay, great. And I know you're a judge on the new season of World of Dance. When people are tuning in for the very first time, what can they expect when they watch the show?
Oh, man. Okay. Uh, Real and authentic chemistry between myself, Jennifer Lopez, and Derek Huff. Like, I think that's one of the things that makes the show kind of stand out is that, we are all like-minded in that we really love and appreciate dance and love and appreciate dancers and the opportunity to give them this spotlight and that $1 million grand prize. Expect to cry, expect to laugh, expect to see some of the most amazing dancing in the world, some of the most amazing dancing you've ever seen in your life. I gotta say, every single time I sit in that chair, my mind is blown in one way or another by just the level of skill or the level of agility or the level of flexibility or just the pure passion coming off these people, man. It's just really and truly amazing.
Yeah, and y'all have dancers that have came in from all over the world, right?
Oh yeah, that's why it's World of Dance. This is the Olympics of dance competition shows. It's the best of the best from all over the world, any and all styles of dance. And yeah, the person that reaches the top of the mountain gets life changing $1 million.
And one of my favorite things that I saw before the show aired in May was watching you guys dance in the promos that you came up with. I just thought that that was pretty creative. Whose idea was that, and what kind of training or rehearsals did you guys have to go through to prepare for those promos?
Well, that was nobody's idea in particular. We kept getting the requests from the fans, like, when are we going to see the judges dance? When are the judges ever going to dance? That whole thing. And to be honest, to have myself, Jennifer Lopez, Derek Huff, Jenna Dewan, to have us there and to not do anything, like, just really didn't make no sense. So we decided to go ahead and put it together, kind of like a dance-off type deal. Of course, J-Lo cheated. She brought like 75 dancers with her, but it's all good. But yeah, we just wanted to get the fans what they wanted, man. And, everybody went into rehearsals and, worked with the choreographers for the show. Natty Tabs are the creative directors for the show. They help out the dancers on the show, and then they also help put together our pieces. So, yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, you can tell that you, Derek, and Jennifer and Jenna all have really good chemistry, which is what you want to see in your judges. Do y'all have the same relationship off camera?
Off camera is pretty much the same thing. Like I tell people all the time that we bypass that whole awkward getting to know you phase. Like we moved on through that, moved on past that right into it's family. Like it's love. We all have an absolute love and appreciation for each other, and it was like from the very first day. Derek is that dorky friend that always says something funny. He's gonna keep you laughing. Like he got all the energy in the world. But on the other side of the same card, he's like, he's one of the best guys around. J-Lo is she, you would think that she would have this whole diva thing about her. And don't get me wrong, it's definitely there. But on the other side of the same card, like she is genuinely and truly Jenny from the block. Like she's not, it's not a huge ego. It's not, it's not that. And mind you, she has, if anybody has the right to have it, she's one of those people, just with everything that she's done in the game and how much, man, she's just real people. And I was actually a little shocked when I really just got to know her I was shocked about that because I was expecting a little bit of that diva thing, cuss you out for bringing her the wrong water type thing. But that's not her at all. Like, and it was refreshing. It was refreshing. Yeah, Jenna is just a damn sweetheart, man. She's the sweetest person alive. Jenna is the person that she's kind of like mom on the show, as far as the dancers go. She's like the first beat before they get out there on stage and do what they do, and then the last face they see when they're done. So she's the nurturer and the comforter, and it just works, man. It just works.
Yeah, and that's what you want, a good relationship off camera as well as on camera. And one of the things that I noticed about Jennifer Lopez is just her work ethic. Between her All I Have show in Vegas, releasing new music, World of Dance, she just hustles every day. I'm sure you know that already.
She's easily one of the hardest working women in show business. And one of the things that I really, really admire about her is the fact that, you know, with everything that she's done and all the success that she's had at this point, if she were to come to the office of the World of Dance, if she were to come, you know, show up one day and just felt like she wanted to phone it in, like, I really don't think anybody would have anything to say about it. I think it would be all right, just considering the fact that she does so much. However, J-Lo is on 10 every time you see her. Like, she's always giving 200% with anything that she's doing, even when she's exhausted, even when she come in and she can barely keep her eyes open because she just got finished doing this or just got finished doing that, or as soon as she's done with World of Dance, she got to run and go do this. But, you know, she's on point at all times, and that was just inspiring to me. So it's like whenever I get to that place where I feel like I'm tired or you know, exhaustion tries to creep in, I just think, what would J-Lo do? And I get my ass up and do what I gotta do.
There you go. And you know, you've worked with a lot of dance music artists in the past, like David Guetta and several others. Do you have any future collaborations coming up with any DJs or dance music artists?
Yeah. Me and David are still really good friends. We actually spoke just recently about doing some stuff. There's a lot of guys out there that I have an absolute appreciation for that I haven't got the chance to work with yet. You know, Zed is somebody that I think is really, really dope. I think that kid is really dope. I haven't gone away from, you know, the pop or the EDM music. I just, for this particular album and this particular message, it just didn't make sense. But, you know, that's not to say that I will never do it again. Like you know, I've developed relationships in that world and have a really faithful fan base over there. So yeah, I'll definitely do some stuff like that again.
And who are you listening to these days? Is there a certain group or a new artist that just came out that you're listening to?
I kind of been heavy on my R&B as of late. I feel like there's a surge of R&B happening with the new generation that I'm really digging. The pendulum is swinging slow, but it's swinging back towards music that feels like something again. You know, with the emergence of, you know, your Daniel Caesar and her and Georgia Smith and Ella May and let me see who else. Who else am I rocking with right now? Eric Bellinger and you know, SZA and what she did with her album, and how, you know, it's like it's genuine, like real R&B. Like, you know, they're not trying to gussy it up or give it another some other cool name. Like, no, this is R&B music, straight up and down. And I love the fact that it's coming back, that we getting back to it. You know, so I'm happy about it.
Yeah, and Jesse Smollett, you know, I just recently talked to him, and I'm really digging his album, some of my music. You know, that's definitely R&B through and through.
Yeah, man, Jesse's been dope for a while, man. I'm glad that he's finally getting his stuff out there. You know, initially the concern was, are people going to be able to differentiate Jesse from the character that he plays on Empire? And I told him, man, just do what you do, bro. Like the people that's gonna rock with it are gonna rock with it, and the people think it's really as simple as that. There's nothing that can be done otherwise. You just got to do what's real for you, and, you know, rock with those that's rocking with you. That's what it is. And so I'm happy to see that dude making moves. You know, he's out on tour right now. He's living it. I'm happy for him.
Oh, yeah. And he was recently in Houston, and he mentioned you when he was on stage, and he had just said how you had inspired him. And I was like, okay, that's what's up. As a songwriter, what makes a great R&B song to you?
Above most things, you've got to feel something. Like, R&B stands for rhythm and blues. Okay, so mind you, that doesn't mean that the song has to necessarily be sad. You know, you think blues and you think sad. I think when they say blues in the realm of rhythm and blues, it's emotion, not sadness, not sorrow. So a good R&B song has got to make you feel something. You know, if the song is in fact sad, I need to feel sad after I'm done listening to it. If the song is sexy, I need to be aroused listening to that thing. If the song is energetic and happy, you know, that's what I'm supposed to feel. So that's what makes a good R&B song. On top of that, it's got to be a melody that is infectious. You know, you hear it once or twice and you can sing it back. You know, but not infectious to the point where it's, you know, because there's a very fine line between, you know, those melodies that, you know, pull at your heartstrings, and, you know, those melodies that kind of give you the goosebumps, and then those melodies that are so simple, of course you can sing them back. It's like, well, it's just one note repeated over and over again. Of course you're gonna remember that. You know, it's got to be memorable, but it's got to touch you at the same time. Like, at least that's what I'm always reaching for. And then third and finally, a lyric that's relatable. You know, I feel like sometimes we let some of the things in life that don't really matter more than they should. You know, as far as status and money and you know, the things that we tend to allow to separate us. When in actuality, we are all the same, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Under the skin and under the Gucci and under the jewelry, we are the same. Everybody feels the same emotions. And, you know, so I try to write from a place of just relatability, you know, things that real people go through, real situations, you know, real emotions, the black, white, and gray of what love is. I feel like everybody's experienced it in a shape, form, or fashion. So, yeah, that's my recipe.
Yeah, I agree, especially when it comes to the lyrics, because, you know, if people can relate to it, that's what makes them, you know, sing the songs in their car or make them go buy the record, you know. So that whole relatability factor is definitely important. Do you have any plans for the summer besides work? I know you have the show and the album, but do you have any off time?
I hope I have some free time. And to be honest with you, so there's another TV show that I did, Step Up High Water. You know, you remember the Step Up film?
Oh, yeah.
Dance film. So they took that and turned it into a series. We did the first season for YouTube Red, and it was an absolute success. Everybody loved it. Everybody was thankful for the second season. So they finally greenlit the second season. We started filming on that in July. But the thing is, July was right around the time that I was supposed to start touring for this album as well. So my summer is going to pretty much be locked up between filming the second season of that and touring for this album. So yeah, yes, me and Sleep, we gonna be distant lovers for a little while, but it's all good.
And you know, the Me Too movement has been a big part of this past year. What do you think about the movement and how women have been treated?
It's no secret to anybody that women have famously and historically not been treated with the respect deserved. You know, so I'm all for the Me Too movement. I'm happy that these women are finally stepping forward and you know, using their voice and using their power and demanding the respect that they're owed and the respect that they've earned. I feel like I'm happy that this movement happened because it's reminding, you know, the fellas out there that respect is not option. You don't decide, okay, I'm gonna be respectful of this one, but I'm gonna disrespect this one. Like, that's not how that goes. You're supposed to respect everybody, and then, you know, we all know, of course, that not everybody demands respect, and not everybody, you know, does things that make you keep giving that person respect. But that's on that person. You know, you're supposed to give the respect up front, and then give them the opportunity to keep it or have it taken away. So I love that this movement is happening because it's telling us that, you know, we can't just treat people any old kind of way. You know, you can't treat people any old kind of way based on their sex or based on any of that, man. It's got to be equal respect all the way across the board. And I'll always preach that. And I'm you know, it's sad and unfortunate that it had to happen the way it happened. You know, a lot of people's lives got ruined behind the way this whole thing went down. But, you know, if you're doing what you're supposed to do, then you don't got to worry about that. So, with that being said, I'm all for it, and I'm happy that it's happening.
JMG Live Music Lounge.
So my music moment is with Boy George. You know, he's currently on tour with the Culture Club with a stop in Houston on July 15th at the Smart Financial Center, with more stops in Atlanta, Nashville, and many other cities. You know, I spoke with Boy George in 2014 for JMG Magazine after the release of his album, This Is What I Do. It was his first release after 18 years, and I talked to him about one of his biggest hits, Karma Chameleon. You know, I wanted to know when he's creating new music if he finds himself trying to repeat the same process he once did with Karma Chameleon.
No, never. I think when you I'm not a kind of professional songwriter. You know, I've never been able to kind of repeat myself, you know. I think if I tried to write Karma Chameleon now, it would sound ridiculous.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I think you just have to you always have to kind of be true to where you are now, you know, and I think, you know, I would never think of writing a song like Karma Chameleon now. You know, I sing it live and I love it as a song, but I don't know where it came from. If I knew where it came from, I'd go there and find another one.
Yeah, exactly. 2 or 3 of them.
But I think you can't fake that, I think everything you do is about timing and context and, how old you are, where you are, what you're feeling. I don't think you can kind of, I've never been the kind of writer that can kind of do that to order. It has to just be an instinctual thing to me,
Right. Well, that's great.
I think that's the problem with a lot of record companies. They're always waiting for you to kind of write the next and it's like, no, I've done that.
Yeah, time to move on now.
Absolutely.
JMG Live. Music Lounge.
Thanks for tuning in to the JMG Live Music Lounge. If you're listening to the podcast through iTunes, be sure to subscribe and leave us a review. And be sure to follow me, your host, Jacquari Harris, on social media. Until next time. Visit jmgmags.com to download the latest episodes of the JMG Live Music Lounge podcast. This portion of the show is sponsored by Avant Media Institute.